Hi scrapbookers, today I want to show you the 12 by 12 fast album formula that was from the Sizzlin Summer Challenges. It is not the current challenge, so if you're watching this video right now, I will link to the original video and information where you can download the instructions, but you're not going to be able to post this challenge to the Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook page for prizes at the moment. This particular challenge is completed and there is a new challenge that will be starting today. Anyway, if you need supplies for this project or want to get in touch, here's my information. You're welcome to order from me anytime or contact me directly. And if you are in the Kaysville, Utah, northern Utah area, I'd love to have you join us for some crops or other events that we have, or even if you just want to stop by and shop in person. So here's the instruction sheet that I printed from the original challenge. And I'm gonna mention a couple things and then I'm actually gonna just pause the video and come back to show you some of the pages I'm creating. So the fast album formula for 12 by 12 is just a series of strips of paper, and the recommendation is to take an entire pack of paper, 12 sheets of your 12 by 12 decorative paper, and cut into strips that are 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inches. So at the end, you end up with 24 strips of each size, and then the album formula layouts have you mix and match the pieces for different looks with your pages. So if you are like me and have been scrapbooking for a long time and tend to save a lot of your scraps and leftovers from your projects, you probably have a ton of strips of paper that are already cut to these sizes or something very close to it. So I decided to make this more of a stash bashing kind of challenge for myself, where I went through and sorted a bunch of my scraps from mostly some older collections, but there are some things that are pretty recent, and also some cardstock that you'll see in here in current and retired colors. And I have lots of strips of paper that were 1, 2, or 3 inches wide and 12 inches long. In addition to that, I have a lot of pre-made borders, things that I've done as parts of classes, either classes I've attended or challenges and ideas I see on the blog and have done at other events or have taught at events that I've hosted or have just done for fun myself. So I grabbed any of the borders that I already have made. And again, most of these are pretty old or are from retired collections, not necessarily old, but some of them are quite old or are things that we've done at events in the last few months. So it's not all from a single collection and it's not all totally matching and cohesive. So in addition to my paper strips and my pre-made borders, I have a bunch of things that are punched out or cut out using the decorative blades from the Creative Memories trimmers and also the border maker system. So those are good pieces to mix in with your strips here. And if you want to either add in for some extra decoration sticker strips or the laser cut borders from different collections, there are so many cute and fun options. I just grabbed what I had on hand and what I haven't used already, and I thought I would throw these into some of my pages. So one of the recommendations on the cutting guide is that if you want to, instead of just cutting out a straight 1 inch strip, you might punch out some border maker cartridge chains. And those are about 1 inch wide each. So I have some things like that in my stack over here. You'll see some of those come out as I start to put my layouts together. And then another option is for these 3 inch strips to just punch along the edge. So the chains, when we talk about the border maker cartridge, chains are things that punch the strip all the way away from the paper. You end up with something like this, where you punch, you don't have to do any extra cutting, and your final piece that comes out of the border maker system is something like this. That is a chain. There are also border maker cartridges and standalone border punches that just punch along the edge of your paper. So something like, this was an old chevron punch. I think one of maybe the original chevron punch for this system. and it just punches right along the edge, and then I cut out this strip and punched along the other edge as well. So again, I'm using mostly older stuff, doing some stash bashing. I also grabbed out a stack of 4.5 by 6.5 mats for photos. And what I'm gonna do now is just start mixing and matching all my pieces until I come up with a bunch of combinations that I like. And I'm gonna more or less follow the layout guides here. So if you are following the cutting guide for the fast album formula, you'll cut out your strips and or punch your borders. And then you'll match all your pieces, C, which is the 3-inch strip, B, which is the 2-inch strip, and A, the 1-inch strip, and just put them together in the various ways that these layout sketches show. And you're welcome to play with these. You don't have to make them exactly as the pictures show. There's also suggested placement for photos and sizes of photos, but you don't have to follow that exactly either. Another thing I'm gonna suggest, and I'll show that in some of my layouts, is a lot of these are great to just turn, rotate, you know, whatever direction you want, so that you don't end up with things that look really similar. I think you'll find that even if you do start with a single package of paper and just cut up all those coordinating pages to use with this kind of layout, that you're not gonna have a lot of pages that look really similar anyway. And unless you're putting them like side by side or one right after another with the same layout, people are not gonna notice in your book if you're using the same formula again and again. Everything ends up looking different depending on what photos you put on your page, what colors you use, maybe what borders you choose, and the embellishments and other decorations. So anyway, I'll be back in a little bit once I've got some idea of which pieces I'm going to use together, and then we'll start assembling some pages. I am back now after having sorted through my different scraps and strips of paper, my borders, my decorations and things that I wanted to put with some of these pages I'm going to put together now. And I'm going to show you what I came up with for one set of the layouts in this guide. If you were to cut 12 sheets of 12 by 12 paper using the cutting guide, you would have enough pieces to put together 2 sets of the layouts. So there are 8 different sketches, but you would actually be putting together 16 sets of pages. And I'm not going to necessarily make a title page for an album. I'm thinking this won't be a single album for me, but will just be kind of a different set of pages I can incorporate into whatever album I'm working on. And I'm ready to show you kind of what I have in mind. I am using different colors of cardstock for my page bases. And then that gives me extra flexibility later when I'm ready to actually put my pages together. Instead of going from one side of an album page to the next, the backs of these will all be blank, and then I can use them for something else later, or back them up to each other if I want to. I'm not sure where this paper comes from. I don't think that was actually part of anything I'm putting together today. So I'm going to show you which sketch I'm working on and what pieces I've chosen, and I'm going to actually dress up some of the layouts a little bit. I'm using a combination of regular tape runner and my repositionable. And I did use my personal trimmer to cut some of the photo mats to the sizes that would match the photos. I don't think I'm going to use it again, but I have it out here just in case, and also my 12-inch trimmer is handy. So the first sketch is this sketch number 1 that has 2 of the C pieces across the bottom, the thick 3-inch strips, and 2 of the A pieces across the top, and a little bit of decoration. And I pulled kind of a random smattering of things, some of them based on the National Scrapbook Day stuff that I had left over from this year, and some of it just what other pieces I had that I thought would be fun with those. So here are the 2 3-inch strips that I chose in yellows, yellow and white kind of grid. And I believe these ones come from the Heart to Help paper pack. And I wanted to incorporate yellow and blue. And I like this piece. I haven't used it yet for my laser pack in the National Scrapbook Day laser collection. On one side it's orange, so I pulled some orange in case I want to use that side, but on the other side it's blues. So I collected some different blues that kind of go with that, kind of teal, light blue. And this sketch has 4 4-inch pictures on the one side and 3 4x6 or 6x4 on the other side. And I have got my mats, so they will mat photos of that size. So these are a little bit bigger than the 4x6, and then my squares are a little bit bigger than 4x4. And for my A pieces on this layout, I picked these ones that are from an older collection, the Vintage or Tangerine Plum and Then Some collection. And then I pulled the photo mats from some other older collections. And I wanted to incorporate a little bit more orange in, so I pulled in just some small decorative pieces that were already cut in my scraps. And a few extra pieces of blue, so I can bring some more blue down here to the bottom. And I was debating whether I want this plain one, but I kind of liked this skinnier pattern with the blue down here too, because it kind of mirrors the size of these small orange ones. So I'm going to set these bigger blue strips aside, and I'm not going to use those on this layout. And then here are the photo mats that will, I think I'm going to do yellow on top, orange, blue. And even though these are almost all pieces from different collections, you can see, you can find similar colors in lots of places. So you have lots of options. And then I'll decide where we're going to put this. I'll swap those so it's not two yellows right next to each other. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I could cut one of these, a different duplicate, but I think I wanted some more blue. So now I'm going to decide where to put this blue lemon border strip, or if I want to use kind of the more orange, looking like oranges, citrus side. Either one would be cute, which is why I chose these colors from the pieces I had. Let's attach those pieces first, and then we'll decide where to put those down. And also we've got some little sunshine stickers that I think I want on this page. I'm not sure about this one that says, "Oh, happy day." That's really cute. If I use this side of the citrus border, I might use this since that repeats those colors, but it's just a little bit off on the colors of my other blues. So maybe, maybe not. We'll see. So, I mean, we could certainly do top and bottom this way instead. There's no reason that can't be the top. And the smaller border, the bottom. Or you could do one of each, and that looks kind of cute and coordinating with your colors across the two pages. So just up to you what you want. And then we've got the photo mats. That are gonna go across the pages. So the 4x4 photos are going on 4.5 by 4.5 mats, and 4x6s are going on 4.5 by 6.5 mats. And in the layout idea, the recommendation is for the title up above this picture. So these ones would kind of line up down here and then line up across the bottom on your 2 pages. So now the borders are all attached to make your background. And again, I added some little extra decorative pieces just to bring in more of those colors across the whole page. You can do that with stickers, you can do that with border punches, or with other little pieces of paper. Or you don't have to have them at all. But I think I like this best, this border, the citrus cutout border, kind of along the bottom. And if I do that, I may scoot my photos up just a little bit to leave some more room for that. Got a little crease in mine right there, but I think it'll be okay. And I'm still just thinking about, do I want the orange or do I want the blue side? And if I want the blue side, I might change which photos I have here, or which mats I have here, so I don't have blue on blue. And because I do have the blue on those edges, I think I'm gonna stick with orange citrus slices. It's cute, it's fun, it helps just incorporate more of the orange color. And I am going to use my personal trimmer just to cut this border in half. So I'm going to put a smaller section on this right side and a little bit bigger section on the left side of my 2-page layout. Just trimming right between these 2 slice pieces. Some of the packs of laser borders come with 2 from each design. A lot of the packs, though, come with only 1 of each border design. And that's something to consider as you're making your purchases in a collection, because often you want to have 2 12-inch borders that would go across your whole page. And that might mean you need to buy 2 packages of the laser border embellishments when you are deciding what to get for your project that you're working on. That's my recommendation, is if you're buying a package or if you're buying pieces from a collection where the laser border embellishments have only 1 of each design, I would just buy 2 packages so you can have a matching pair of borders. And if you don't, or maybe can't, maybe it's already a retired collection and all you have is, or all you can get is what you have, you can do something like I just did and just split your border so that you can spread it across more area of your layout. So I am going to try to line up the bottom of my photo mats across the 2 pages so they look like they're all meant to be part of the same idea. And I'm just adding a little tape. This laser border does have the cutouts, so the repositionable adhesive is good for something like this, but this one, it actually has thick enough sections that you can put the regular tape runner on it. and it works just fine. So I'm just going to line that up on the edge of my page along that blue skinny border. And then when I put a photo on here, I might need to pry this up and scoot the photo underneath, or I could lay the photo on top on this photo mat because it would be overlapping probably just a little bit. So this page is attached. Let's do the same over here. And that's more or less our 2 pages from sketch number 1. We've got a spot for a total of 7 photos of different sizes, a place to put a title, and we can do some more embellishing and journaling down here. I also saved the pieces that I trimmed off of these photo mats, so I could use them as little journaling areas if I wanted to add some more of these colors as I'm finishing up this page. So since I didn't use my teal blue side, I'm not going to use this Happy Day. The blues on this layout that I picked were all from different collections, but they all go together just fine. Same with the yellows. They're not from the same collection, but similar level of brightness, and oranges, kind of similar shades. It helps that there's some variation in the colors for the different pieces, so they don't have to be exactly matchy-matchy. And I think I'm gonna just put some sunshine stickers on my layout. Maybe one down here where it kind of didn't go as far as maybe I would have liked, and one up here, and then I'll leave some room for maybe some ABC stickers for journaling or for a title, and then some spots where we could do some journaling. So that's my first page. I might add some extra decorations to these later. And after I post this video, I'll try to post pictures of all the individual layouts that I finished that may or may not have pictures yet, because I'm not quite sure what I would use it for. But I think this is just such a fun, happy combination of colors. All right, so on to sketch number 2. And this is a totally different feel for the colors. With the first set of pages, I used white as the background. For the second set, I'm using beige cardstock. I don't actually use white as my background very much. I feel like sometimes it really makes my page feel very sterile. So I personally prefer something like beige, or if I'm doing the album pages in a Creative Memories book, I like Spargo. It's kind of a gray flecked speckled look, and it ends up looking just a little less plain than white, a little less stark and sterile. All right, so in sketch number 2, we're using 2 pieces of the A size, 1 inch, and 2 pieces of the C size, again, those are 3 inch, but we're laying it out in a different way. So we're gonna have one border across the top of one page and one across the side of the second page. And again, there's no reason you couldn't rotate this around and put these borders together however you want. In this one, instead of being top and bottom and separating, we're actually putting the A piece in the middle of the C piece. And I have some photo mats again that we'll put together after these. And I grabbed a few stickers, some border stickers. So it will go something like this, with your large 3-inch piece along the side and the top, and then your skinny 1-inch piece in the middle overlapping that one. And I had a couple borders punched out and cut already like this, and I thought it would be fun just to add a little more decoration into the layers here. And if you don't like the look of the top and the side, top and bottom, or matching them up to both be 2 sides or both outsides, or whatever you like. You can do any of those things. So here's this layout again. Could be rotated different ways. No reason you can't make some borders that are flexible with that. I am going to make something that sets a direction for this one because this sticker is going to have some words. So it says beautiful life, thankful for this beautiful life, and just repeats. And I decided I wanted that across this one. I'm just going to center it on this 1-inch strip. And then I didn't want to leave the other side all naked, so the piece from this same sticker strip that's just a scrap from, I think, a Croptoberfest collection, but it might have been like the matching collection that came out alongside Croptoberfest that year. I can't remember for sure. But it's from several years ago, and I just have a few stickers left. I'm going to do the same kind of thing over here, but just with this more, I don't know, kind of floral-ish sticker strip, and try to get that good and straight on there. So this one could still be rotated if we wanted to do bottom or top. Although now that I've made it different, it's a little weird to put that right next to it. But to go on the side or even to go along the bottom, I think still looks really nice with that. And then I have my photo mats, and this one's going to have a total of 6 photo spots if you follow the layout with 4x6s. Or you could skip the photos altogether at this point and just lay out your photos later. And I need to change where this one is because I realized it's kind of subtle and maybe nobody would notice, but it does have some writing on that mat. And these ones are all kind of lined up like this. In the sketch, there's a place for some journaling here. And you'll see this is showing just the 4x6 photos. My mats are a little bit bigger, so when I lay my mats out, they're going to overlap where your 4x6 photos wouldn't if you're not going to put bigger mats on them. Just whatever you like. I'm going to start with this one because that's the one that I think starts to overlap the most. And then I'll space the rest of my mats based on where this goes. These pieces, again, mostly come from different collections. The green photo mats do all come from the same collection with the different prints, but it's a really old one from Creative Memories. So definitely not something you would see anymore. And these kind of dark grayish brown ones come from a different collection, but it was kind of a similar time. The green strips come from a border kit that advisors had access to for classes. And these brown leathery strips back here, I believe, are from the What a Zoo collection, but I could be wrong. They might have been from another collection that came out around that time. And then just some white cardstock and my stickers, and everything's attached, and that is layout number, or sketch number 2 for those 2 pages. And I don't have any other decorations to put on this one right now, so I'll just save them for later, and maybe I'll figure out what else I want to put for decorations and title and some journaling. That's a different, like totally different feel for this layout alongside that really happy bright colored one we just did, but equally simple and can also be dressed up even more if you want it a little less simple. So for sketch number 3, I chose some different kinds of pieces. At our Croptoberfest here in Utah this past spring, sorry, not Croptoberfest, in National Scrapbook Day. It was like lemon themed was the collection. So I made these borders for everybody to put together. And people either made the pink one or there was just a yellow one. So this one says, when life gives you lemons, make pink lemonade. And I thought that would be cute to replace some of these bee strips instead of just doing the straight cut pieces. And then I've got some hot pink that's kind of a similar color to this pink word. And I thought maybe this could be the top of one page and the bottom of another with the plain hot pink next to it. And then in the sketch, it has a C piece, one of the 3-inch wide pieces, overlapping and then kind of weaving back and forth on your different pieces. So I think that's how my page is going to go together. And because this border is already pretty decorative, I'm not going to do anything else on this page. And in the sketch, the recommendation is to line your C piece up right against the edge and line all of your straight pieces up right against the edge. But I'm going to move mine in to the inside of the paper just a little bit in all the directions, primarily because my big border that I've already made, I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. It's gonna, I feel like it's gonna look a little weird if it's touching the edge and showing through right there. So I'm just gonna scoot everything in a tiny bit. So I'm not going to lay out the photo mats on this one. I don't think it needs it. I probably won't use photo mats just because there's already a lot going on this page. We've got a bunch of different colors. I think those are fun. They really go together. There's a lot of different greens between the border and the background. And then this hot pink that came from, I think it was the Slice of Summer collection. But a fun pink to go with my hot pink lemonade border. And that was for sketch number 3. So on this one, since I haven't put down any photo mats, I could go with what's here already, or I could do photos of any sizes and any orientation. And I probably won't add a separate title since the border I've got on here does have the title. And obviously I don't want to like overlap my photos on top of this border because I want that to show. So my placement of my pictures is going to be different with this layout. But that's another fun, happy set of pages. And we're ready to move on to sketch number 4. And this one is another really simple background idea where you just take the thicker B strips that were 2 inches and combine them with some thinner A strips that are 1 inch on the outsides of your page. And then put your photos on here, and here they're showing them overlapping. I am going to do my photos a little different on this one, and I'll show you why. As background for this set of pages, I have white cardstock again. I have a bunch of little photo mats that I will set aside for a sec. And then I chose this border that was already made. Has a little bit of foam squares, popping the title up that says the best of times. So I'm going to just do that on this one side instead of doing a wide strip and a skinny strip. This one already has, it's kind of a pieced together scrap border. So this is a fun type of border if you have a bunch of little scraps. And you can kind of just place them together. It looks almost like a stained glass window kind of design. And then I found a piece of matching cardstock in my strip stash of all of my extra things. So I am going to put that over here on the far side, and then a 1 inch piece here that matched some of the papers in this. So I could do either side. I think I'm going to stick with the orange. And then I pulled out 2 skinnier strips, and it's the front and back of the same sheet of paper, just to bring in more of what's happening over here. And I think I'll do a little bit of overlapping to bring in more of those colors. So that's my plan on this page. And then I already had cut out a bunch of photo mats from the pieces in this collection. So I decided I was going to use these, and instead of doing large 4x6 photos, I would just incorporate some smaller photos onto this one. it just happens to be the size. I had these pieces cut out already for a different project that I ended up not using them for. These ones are 4.5 by 3.5, and I can do some of both orientations. And if I wanted, I could use the other side as well. It's this busier flower print, but I think as a photo background, I like this less busy background better. So I'll just attach all these strips down, and then we can talk more about some photo placement. Most of the stuff from over here on the left repeated on the right. I don't know if you noticed, but when I went to go put my pieces together, I'm not sure, but one of these is not cut quite straight. So I am glad I was planning to overlap some other things on them anyway, because I needed to cover up a little gap because I couldn't make those two pieces sit straight next to each other. And I don't have any foam squares with me right at the moment. It's all in my stuff downstairs, but I have left the sticker backing on this part of the sticker, and then when I'm ready to actually attach it to the paper, I was just gonna probably add a foam square there, which I have not done yet. So I need to do that to finish that part. But I'll just grab out a few little spare stickers because I'd like to include some of these small round flowers on this side as well. Just kind of mirroring what I've done on the left side a little bit, so it looks like it all goes together. Okay, I know these don't match up, and maybe when I finish this with some pictures, I might decide to align these a little bit differently. But for now, I think I like them. There's a little spot for some journaling down here at the bottom, maybe down here as well, or a little extra decorative strip of stickers or something. So that's my page, my set of pages for sketch number 4. And it ends up looking quite different, just with a little bit of adjustment to the borders on the sides and the placement of and sizes of the pictures. Based on the same idea, but ends with a really different result. So here is another page we're going to put together that uses some pieces from the same collection, but also a lot of other things. And this is going to be our sketch number 5 layout. So in this one, it has 2 of the C pieces, the 3-inch wide strips, and 2 of the A pieces going in opposite directions to create kind of triangles or corners on both of your pages. And then there are spots for some 4x4s and some 4x6s. And I've got some mats cut out for those from one of those old collections again. And some stickers from that same Croptoberfest collection we just used. I have a little journal box I'm going to include on this one. And then I pulled out this border that was already made, and this is going to function as one of my 3-inch strips. So instead of just putting a plain strip, I'm going to lay down a whole border that's already made. And then I'll do something kind of matching for the other one on the other side. But I think this is going to be my bottom border over here on the right hand side. And then I'm going to put some matching pieces, like the same papers that are in this border, but matching on the other side. And then I'm debating about whether I need this other one to complete the corner little triangle on the outside over here. So thinking about that, I just noticed this page has a little bit of notching on it. Like I probably used a border maker along this, but there's one spot where it's pretty noticeable and everywhere else it's not. I'm not going to worry about it, because that spot's going to get covered up. So we've got some strips here, which are not the 1" A pieces. As I tried to pull things together that match this border, I didn't have any pieces that were cut to that size already, and I didn't want to have to cut these strips down. I felt like the thicker strips would look just fine here. So that's what I'm going to use. Thicker strips on the sides than what the sketch has. And then this piece is actually a little bit thinner. So the size is a little bit different, and then but the layout idea is the same. And I've got photo mats cut out for this one. I've got 4x6 photo mats to go on this side, and a couple of them are those ones from the collection that had the writing. I'm just gonna overlap a little bit up here and down here. And again, because my photo mats are a little bit bigger than the photos recommended in the sketch, my mats are going to take up a little more space and cover up a little bit more of the background. And then I just kind of pulled mats that all matched in the colors of these flowers over here. So I liked the greens, I liked the, there's a little bit of this dark red that I included as well. I thought that was pretty. So if I put it straight down there, it would cover up a little bit of the flowers. I could try to pry these flowers up and attach them on top. Maybe I'll do that and see if the flowers have gotten too stuck to these spots. It's hard to say, because some stickers are movable for a while, but some stickers, once you get them down there stuck to the page, you're not going to get them off. Let's give that a try. I think it's going to be okay. And I'm going to go grab some scissors. So since I'm covering this little strip up, I'm going to pull it off and see if I can reattach it up here to just repeat some of that color on this side of the page. I think I do have some more of these sticker strips somewhere, but I didn't really go look for them in preparation for this. Let me just go grab my scissors and I'll trim that off. Okay, I'm just gently setting it right there for now, while I get this green photo mat placed. And I will put down some more stickers on possibly both sides of this page. So one thing I don't have right with me is the multi-purpose tool, which would make peeling up these stickers a lot easier. That's actually a great use for that tool, to get that little skinny edge underneath some stickers or underneath a photo or something that needs to be moved. Even after they've been attached for a while, it really helps with that. Okay, make sure that's on there straight. looks pretty good. And this one I damaged a little bit pulling it up, but I think it'll stick down okay again. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. So there's that. I think those are some nice, good colors together. Not all super matchy-matchy, but really looks nice together. Let's see, maybe just at the top. At the top of this strip up here. We'll do that to kind of repeat what's going on over here. And then we can place some more stickers around. So I've got one of these orange and teal ones over here. I'm going to do one more over there. I'll just pull it up above. And then I'll do kind of the same combination, but minus the big red flower on this other side. And I've got this word that says home that I thought would be cute, kind of as a title. And this little gold flag that says love this. Maybe love this home right here. That'll be cute. I can layer those together a little bit. Not quite straight on there. Go from this direction, it'll work out a little better. And then I've got another blue kind of mandala flower that I'll include over here as well. And that can go on this side. And even if you're not doing super matchy stuff, it is nice to be able to bring in some of the same colors and repeated artwork as you're putting together your pages. So maybe you're not using all things from the same collection, but you can find similar colors and similar patterns or a similar feel in the kind of like old-timey writing and like the kind of more vintage flower print like we have on some of these. So this strip here comes from a collection called Vintage. This strip with the kind of mustardy yellow and the white flowers is from that Croptoberfest collection. And then these photo mats were from another totally separate collection. But I think it all comes together and looks nice, and it's on a beige cardstock background. All right, we're moving on to sketch number 6. And this is another one where we're just putting some strips on the sides. And this shows that you've got spots for 4 4x6 photos with no mats. And I am going to leave that space on this layout. But I'm going to put together the other borders. So on this one, I've got navy blue cardstock as the background for both sides. And on this side, really, you're going to cover up the whole thing. So it wouldn't matter if you actually have 2 matching pages here or not. You can just use whatever you've got. Or if you have something you don't like and want to use it as the landing spot for everything else to go on, you definitely could. These strips are 3-inch and 1-inch strips from that border class kit that advisors had access to. And I'm just going to lay them out just the way the sketch shows, with the skinny strip on the outside and then the large strip, and then on this other side the large strip in the middle and the small strip on the outside. And these don't have to all match. I've been doing a lot of matching on mine, but if you wanted them to all be different, especially if you're using pieces from the same collections, Something like that would be really nice and a good way to bring in some different colors and patterns, especially if you like a lot of the different things in the pack. I'm going to stick with all the blues, and then I've got these photo mats that were from like the original paper album kit from Creative Memories many years ago, and I was going to include those as photo mats on this side and then leave this space here for unmatted photos so that they could lay out just right next to each other like that. I've got a few stickers I'll put on here too, because I wanted to pull in some green to match what's going on these photo mats. Okay, so my photo mats are attached, my strips are attached that were either from the cutting guide or from my scraps. And I've got two little leaf strips. I'm just trying to decide where to lay those. I might want to save it until I get my photos attached on this side so that my stickers can overlap on my photos. And then the other one I think I would put over here just going the same direction, either in or out. And if I point them out, maybe I don't need to worry about overlapping with the photos. So I am gonna pull up the edge of this mat I just put down, just because I would like it to go behind this one. And then I'll sticky that back down afterward. I think I'll point my leaves out. Just try to get them lined up and straight. Right there. And then I'll kind of do the same thing over here. The border stickers that come with so many of the collections are really such a cute way to add like a nice and easy decoration along either a seam where you're putting some borders together or a place where some photos and things meet, or just along the edge of your paper to create a little bit of like some grounding or an edge to your page. Maybe you need to like bring the background in just a little bit. Your layout is feeling a little bit too spread out or too airy, that things are just floating. So something like this can help tie those together. So that's a nice simple background, just a few strips, and now you've got a little bit of place for decorations, some spots for photos, and you could do what's outlined here or something different. Another option is obviously some smaller photos. So there's 4 4x6s here, but no reason you couldn't do more smaller photos, either filling in the whole space or leaving spots for mats or for just spacing to show with the background. So that's sketch number 6. We've got 2 more sketches with 2 pages each coming on the home stretch. And if you were cutting your whole paper pack and using this album idea, you would actually be able to make twice as many pages as this. But I'm just going to do half, a set of 8 2-page layouts. So we're on to sketch number 7. And this sketch uses 2 sets of the B strips. So if you wanted, you could do matching. You could do back and front of 2 different sides of the same paper from those B strips, or you can do everything different. And what I decided to do in this one is 4 different papers. Most of the things are from the collection called A Year to Remember, which is one of the early collections Creative Memories brought out when the new company came back. And it's just really fun, kind of bright primary colors. And these were the 4 strips I pulled out. Each of these strips is 2 inches. And I'm just gonna, I can't remember which ones I was gonna put where. But just kind of bold patterns with some white and then kind of bold colors. Maybe I'll go the other direction. So this was a fun collection. It was kind of month grid calendar themed. So the stickers you'll see that I pulled out are all kind of in line with that. Just trying to decide right now which ones do I want to have, which pieces do I want to have sit next to each other, because there's no repetition in the patterns or colors here. So I think I like this layout best. I'm just going to attach these down more or less the way the sketch shows. Some mats for our photos in these other bright colors that I felt like, even though they're not the colors from these strips, look really good all together. So I just did some of each for each side. This blue is actually from a Christmas collection, but I thought it just looked really good with all of this. So we've got a little bit of pattern repetition with the chevrons. The yellow, the best yellow I could find was just this plain one. And in the sketch for this one, we've got a little bit of like movement with the photos on the sides going a little askew. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. I am going to go ahead and do that on this layout. So there's the basis of our layout for these pages. And I grabbed some stickers I had. I'm gonna avoid the ones in the colors that I didn't pull in here. But the balloons were cute. I thought we could do some balloons on this page. Because this was kind of a calendar themed collection, there's a lot of like calendar squares, but why not use that for one of your, like a little spot for an embellishment cluster or something like that. So that would be cute too. I didn't include the navy blue that was part of this collection or this kind of teal because I went with the yellow and the other blue. But I could pull in any of these other things, and I think I will. So where I've got pink over on that page, I'll put some pink over here with just a little square of hearts. I'll put some other embellishments with that. And I think I'll do the same with the red. I don't know if I want to put dots on dots though. Maybe not red, maybe I'll do, or orange chevrons on chevrons. Well, I guess red dots it is. It's okay. Let's see. Got a little sunshine icon. That one's cute. I'll put that up here. These stickers are a little bit thinner than the ones that Creative Memories makes nowadays. So you might be seeing that they do show through the pattern behind a little bit, which is, in my opinion, not ideal, but it was the style of stickers that was being made at the time of this collection. It's not terrible, it's just, I prefer the ones we have now with their, like a thicker kind of sticker. Do a little butterfly up here, orange butterfly. Pink heart. And maybe I'll add some more things later. Like I said, I do like the balloons. I just am not really sure if that's where I'm going with these pages. And there's some more other little icons I could include if I wanted some other things. So it's cute, it's fun. Maybe I'll put another little heart over here. So many hearts. Or maybe I like this little red arrow better. Do that over here. Yeah, I think I like that more. And I can do some words or something on there when I know what's going to go on this page. So that's kind of a cute, fun combination of things, that some of them that were from the same collection and then some other colors that just kind of matched in the vibrancy of the colors. So I think that turned out pretty nice too. Okay, we're moving on to our last one we're gonna do together. And then I'll probably play with these pages a little bit. Maybe I'll find some pictures for them. When I post the video, I will also post pictures on my Facebook page of the finished layouts, or at least what's finished at that time. For this one, I got kind of a weird mishmash of lots of different collections and some other stickers, but things that I think will go well together. And for this layout, we're doing bands of the A's, B's, and C's all the way across the middle of both pages. I think this one would be cute for a title page, or maybe the background page, like the ending page of your album. You could definitely find a way to make that work with any of these other sketches as well. But for me, if I were picking, this is probably the one I would pick, and do something in the front, something in the back, maybe with a single large photo or some other decoration or large title. That's not necessarily what I have in mind for this 2-page layout I'm putting together. but just an idea. So we're using beige again as the background here. I've got some photo mats cut out. I'll set those up here for now. And then I've got these strips, and we're just gonna go the smallest strip at the top, the middle-sized 2-inch strip in the middle, and then the large 3-inch strip at the bottom. So here's what we've got is some kind of bamboo paper on the bottom, which does kind of have a direction. If you're picky about it, the bamboo grows this way, but my pieces were already cut and they were cut in this direction. So I decided to just go with it, and I wasn't going to be bothered by the direction of the bamboo. And then this is a textured cardstock that you probably saw on the back was orange and is this kind of tan color on the front. And this one was from a collection called, I think, Summer. And again, all this stuff from the old company. None of this stuff is very recent. And some of those old photo mats that I can now pull out to use up. And I didn't have enough of this lighter color in any one design. So I just grabbed the two that were the most matching, I felt like. And then a couple that were a little bit darker, closer to this tan color. Okay, so that's all of the paper pieces. I've got some backgrounds for some photos. 6x4s with 6.5 by 4.5 mats, 4x4 photos with 4.5 by 4.5 mats. Plenty of room for journaling, embellishing, and more. Oh, and I didn't do this, but I was thinking about including some stickers because I've got just some of these old color strip stickers. They're kind of a fun way to set off your border pieces, especially if you've got some kind of similar colored pieces. Something like this helps to just distinguish between maybe your background and your decorative paper, for example. Or I'm just gonna run some of these brown strips along this edge, and I'll put my photo mat back where it was. I'm just trying to keep it right above that textured cardstock.